Good morning, and good morning. How are you doing? How are you doing? What is happening this morning? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit what's happening to me. It's cold. I cannot stand it. I don't like the cold weather. I am a transplant to the Florida area, and I like the climate. I like it when it's warmer, not colder. And I woke up this morning and I'm thinking, oh, I'm so cold. So I don't have on my traditional, probably more dressier outfit. Today I have on a sweatshirt and sweatpants that says, it's by Tabitha Brown, that says my voice. And the down the pants it says limitless. And that's what I'm hoping that I will always be, is limitless. Just understanding that as long as I have an opportunity to live, then I would try to do my best to not, bother anyone, not hurt anyone intentionally, those kinds of things, but to live my life where I am free, where I have quit doing the things as, say, a much younger person used to do. I'm not caught up in things that I shouldn't be in. I'm just enjoying life, trying to be good to others, showing kindness and grace. And, when I was thinking about the word I wanted to talk about this morning, I talked about how do we quit things? Do we quit things because we're forced to, because we need to? And then after we quit, which way do we feel about, how do we feel about it, or ways that we feel about it? It may trouble us for a month, 2 months, or it may trouble us for the rest of our lives when we have to quit things or people. Good morning, Rhoda. How are you doing, sweetie? Good to see you in the space. And so when I was thinking about this word, all I could think about is how many things in the course of a lifetime have we quit? I was just even thinking through myself as being a parent, and my daughter deciding that she was going to quit some things. And I'm thinking, well, you one wanted me to go out and buy this piano and you're supposed to be. So she said, well, but you agreed to do it with me. Well, I would go. Get this, we would go to the lessons, but I would be prepared, and she wasn't prepared. Why? Because she would never practice. So sometimes we have to quit because it costs us money, it costs us our time, it may cost us, friendships, reputation, it may cost us a lot of things. And I'm going to repeat that again later on in this session. But we just need to understand that to quit something, it becomes a vital need for us to do, to make our own selves, looking more forward and not behind. When I started out doing Are You Stuck, I was talking about the fact of we need to plan for our future. We can't live in our past, and our past has a tendency to pull us down, try to separate us from where we are or where we're going to, because we keep remaining in those thoughts and those incidences that left us, still, like unsteady, unbalanced, because we were too busy thinking about what others thought. We need to think about how we feel. What do we feel? How does it need to be addressed? Do we need to go back and address it and then leave it alone? And some people find that to be very, very scary, to readdress something or go back and address things that are giving us great pause. But quitting is difficult. I know I've quit a lot of things. I quit paying for my daughter's, lessons. I quit paying for it because she wasn't doing it and I was. I quit going because there was no longer the need to encourage her. She quit. And she quit long before I stopped paying that money. Hey, Miss Joan. Oh, it's so good to see you in the space. Hope things are better. Certainly sorry for your loss. Glad to see you, see you. Debbie's been writing little notes in our thread, to just let you know that she does miss you. So hopefully she'll be in and y'all be able to reunite in this thread here. But sometimes even realizing when it is necessary to quit, Sometimes that's a big thing to us because we can't get there. We can't even make the decisions of realizing that quitting is necessary. Sometimes we must quit something in order to live better. And then we need to quit thinking about what we quit. So we have to quit the quit. It just works like that. It does. It does. Good morning, Maurice. How are you? How are you? Good to see you in the space. Incidentally, last night we went to the citywide revival, which is being held at Greater Little Rock Baptist Church, which is my church, and it was just off the chain. It was just so good. You can go online on YouTube and even see the videos. I believe they taped them. But they're wonderful. The man bringing the word is out of New Jersey, and I want to say his name is I can't remember his name. I don't want to lie. I thought I had it, and then I think that's the moderator. But we'll just leave that. If you go online, you can find it. But anyway, let's get back to the session, which was talking about quitting. It's sometimes difficult for us to quit a lot of things, but then on the other hand, once we quit, then we can't quit thinking about what we've already said no to or turned away from. Okay. So anyway, on quitting, it talks about, I found this poem and it's really meaningful. It's by Edgar Albert Guest. On Quitting is the title of the piece. And it says, how much grit do you think you've got? Can you quit a thing that you like a lot? You may talk of pluck. It's an easy word. And wherever you go, it is often heard. But can you tell to a jot or a guess just how much courage you must possess? You may stand to trouble and keep your grin, but have you tackled self-discipline? Have you ever issued commands to you to quit the things that you like to do? And then, when tempted and sorely swayed, those rigid orders have you obeyed? Don't boast of your grit till you've tried it out, nor prate to men of your courage stout. For it's easy enough to retain a grin, for in the face of the fight, there's a chance to win. But the sort of grit that is good to own is the stuff you need when you're all alone. How much grit do you think you've got? Can you turn from joys that you like a lot? Have you ever tested yourself to know how far with yourself you're willing to go and can go? If you want to know if you have grit, just pick of a joy that you like and quit. It's bully sport, and it's often a fight. It will keep you busy both day and night. For the toughest kind of the game you'll find is to make your body obey your mind. And you never will know what it's meant by grit unless there's something you've tried to quit. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. I mean, it challenges left and right. Sometimes you think you got it down and you think you got your grit conquered, and then you turn it says sorely turned. So you turn back to what you quit. So you didn't really quit, or you didn't conquer what you quit. Interesting. What y'all think about that word quit? How many things do you think you've quit within the last 2 years? Major things, minor things. Probably a lot of them. Probably a lot. I know for myself, a whole bunch of stuff. The pandemic had me quit going out too much. Had all of us in our homes. So we became more used to being alone or used to being with just a few. And then we also were limited on how much we were going to do, even when it came to, technology. Either we learned it better or we moved away from it and read more books or became more introspective. So quitting is very, very tough. When you break the word down, it says to quit is to leave. It could be a place, or it could be a position. It could be a relationship. It could be, a job. It could be a lot of things, but it says it's usually permanently. That's what true quitting is. And sometimes we turn back to what we thought we permanently had conquered. We turn back to it. It becomes our nemesis, and we move back. I know there's some links in there. I don't know what they're to, but you'll tell us that. The first link is Mondays. Thank you, thank you so much. That's if you want to see those videos. They're really, really good if you get a chance to do that. So it says to quit something permanently is to quit it. It's to leave it alone, to go away from it, to depart from it. Is even some situations it says depart from here and don't ever come back. Depart. That means you're leaving, to vacate, to evacuate, to move on, to set forward and not backwards. It says to withdraw from, to really look that you have decided to become what they call, like in business, laissez-faire. You're done. Done with it. Desert, to resign from something and to give up. And all those things, if we're living long enough, being above what even children do. I think they had a question on TV the other day. It says when you buy all these kids for your children, and how many days before they quit using it? At Christmas time, they quit using it. And they said the average time, was probably within, 2 days. Maybe they get enamored with it the first day and maybe a little bit the second day. I know for my daughter, she had more fun with the boxes than she did with what she claimed she had to have. And so as I got older, I stopped buying all the stuff that she wanted. I just said, that's a waste of my money. And so I would buy her one thing that she wanted, that she really wanted. And to see her only play a little bit with that, just said, you know what, then the other stuff, extra throwing away of money, unnecessary, quit doing it. And it says okay, I just thought you was. So anyway, when you break the word down after the "are you stuck" process of quitting, it says usually you're querying yourself. You've queried yourself. You're asking yourself questions when you're able to say, I'm going to quit something. Some questioning went on to you. It was between you and when you got up in the morning, to you when you went to bed at night, to sometimes it troubled you in your dreams that you said, I got to quit it. Okay. But the questions came to yourself. It came to you. And it says asking the questions about something, especially in order to express one's doubt about it or check its validity or accuracy. You just decide, is it still right for me? Do I still want to do this? Is it necessary? Can I save money? Can I save, myself from, sickness in my brain or in my heart, or what? How can I do that? I may have to quit. So it says you're asking yourself permission to quit. And then the quitting actually is when you tell yourself to do it and you do it. Okay. It also says it is when you've inquired within yourself the need to stop doing something, stop. I no longer need to do that. It says when you question yourself, you may even be giving yourself a quiz. Okay. Or a call to question. You know what? Somebody may call you out on it. Hey, look, you think you want to continue doing that? You think you continue on working there, being with that person, continue to owning that property because it's more financially strapping than you have money for? Questions. Sometimes we have to be given questions, queried in order for us to make a viable decision about what is next for us. Also saying under queried, it says that you're throwing doubt on it. I don't think this is going to work. Okay. I don't know about that. It also may say it's suspicious to you. It's become worrisome. Okay. There's a feeling of uneasiness when you continue trying to do something that you shouldn't be doing anymore. Question, narrate. Yes, that's when basically when you just realize that that the narrative that comes to you, or giving you a questionnaire of some sort that just says, okay, this and that, all on this questionnaire. I need to address it. I need to say that it's good for me, not good for me. Even the questionnaires that come in the mail sometimes forces you to turn around and look at what else I need to do in order to make this work. So that was very good, Joan. And also says, when you throw doubt on something, when you become suspect and feeling challenged, or it might be a dispute, the behavior required for what originally was stated that was necessary, that isn't the truth. Because a lot of times they will give you an outline or pretty much a write-up or what are the requirements of your job, and then you find out that you're so far outside of what you're being paid for, so far outside of the level of positional respect you should have. You don't realize it until you start putting all the things together for yourself. And the last thing it says, it may give you an actual dispute within your spirit. You just understand this ain't right. This is I have to do, and then it says you might form an objection to doing it, and that's when you're able to give yourself the say so, the do so, to quit something. But you have to get there. You have to actually go through the actual questions themselves. When I move on in the word of quit, I have unable. Unable is lacking the skill, the means, or the opportunity to do something. And it doesn't say that you don't have the means to carry out the task. It's just saying that the tasks are more than what was expected, more what was intended, or requiring more of you in terms of the time and the amount of work that's being involved in it. A lot of times when I used to be a marriage and family counselor, one of the things I would tell people, okay, look at how much time you've been together, but think during those times, when was it really right? When? If it's just not right now, then something went on. When did that start? So you sometimes even have to go back to saying how something stopped happening, or somebody quit doing something that was required or necessary. It may be dealing with the fact that they were charming and flowers came all the time, and maybe a box of candy or going out to dinner or something, and those things stopped. And therefore, questions began. Well, why not? Why am I still not getting this? Unfair at times. Absolutely. Ultimate. Those are really good words. Yep. Ultimate. Is it? Are you the ultimate person doing certain things only to find out that you're being paid less than the other person, who's less in terms of capabilities, but being paid more because of their maybe inside track? That's a good way to put it. And unfair at times, because sometimes things are unfair. Absolutely. So it says unable. It says lacking those skills, meaning that leaving you powerless. Sometimes when we feel powerless, that's when we want to quit. We have no input. We have no output. We feel that we've been ultimately fed up with. Okay, I love that. Sometimes we are on the outside of trying to deal with something that has only our foot in it, or only our heart in it, but our head, which is starting to get some real oxygen, we all of a sudden we say, but wait a minute, I'm heart's in this, but my head's saying that something's not right. Something's wrong with it. So we become powerless, not able to really take a stance on how we really feel, or fearful of doing it. It says that it may leave us where we feel that we're impotent, or we're lackadaisical. We're not up or equal to what the challenge is of staying in whatever we're involved in. It says that we're inefficient, incompetent. These are all the things that we could be feeling: unfit, unfitted, unequal, unequified, and incapable. All those things talk about our ability to be unable to quit something that we are getting signs that maybe we need to, because we no longer fit in the way it was originally, kind of, we'll say, carved out for us. And then we fall short. We fall back. We understand that we can't do it. My I, when I move on in the word, is ineffectual. And ineffectual, which is Ineffectual, is not producing any of the desired effects that you think you should be getting out of something. And sometimes that's the way our lives are. We just feel that there's something's going wrong, something's going amok. We don't know what it is, but we feel we can feel it, and it says unproductive. We know that we're not producing what we should produce, incomplete. Oh, that's really good. Because how many of us have been in things and feel that we're not complete? Something's wrong. Maybe a relationship. It may be where you work. It may even be where you go to school. Teacher doesn't pay attention to you enough, or you're falling behind. So it says it's where you feel inefficient, ineffective, unsuccessful, powerless. There's that word again, powerless. We had it in unable, and we also have it in our ineffectiveness. And it says impotent. So it's there again. Feeble, meaning we almost feel childlike in our ability to try to quit something. We don't know how to quit. We don't know when to quit. We don't know. We know why we need to quit, but then we can't actually verbalize it. And so we have trouble with it. It also talks about feeling useless. Those are powerful, adjectives, to just think that I feel useful because I don't know how to even express the fact that I need to get up out of here. I think, there's many a person that's been in jobs or relationships, and sometimes even families, to just say the family is toxic. The job environment is toxic. The relationships are toxic. And they don't know how to deal with them because it basically exhausts them to think about how to make a plan, how to make an exit, how to make a detour. It's very difficult. So when I move on to the last letter in my word of quit, my T is for tabled. And I believe many of us have tabled things for years. Tabled is to postpone, meaning we don't quite get to the quit category. So we find ourselves in a period of limbo. Because to me, that's what postponement is. It's consideration of or present formally for discussion at a later date. If you ever get to the later date, sometimes people postpone things or table things forever. So they're always on the table, meaning they're always something that's bothering you, but they never are able to be dealt with. Terminated is good. I have to put on my glasses for that last one. Yeah, terminated. And tantamount, that's really good. We don't even realize that we have so many words to describe our situations as being rough and tough and unequal. Sometimes our footing is unequal with what we're dealing with, meaning it makes us very unstable, very, very unbalanced, to know that our lives are troubled, not intentionally, but just by the mere or sheer fact of things going unstated, and they just keep rolling and rolling. And I don't know, if you've ever known what tumbleweed is that I would say little pieces of thin, branches or weeds that just as they roll along, they add more to themselves and it becomes larger and larger and larger. That's us sometimes. We keep adding things on. We keep becoming more and more and more involved on, trying to fix something that we can't get down to the core of it. We can't get there. And so it becomes this thing that we table. Well, I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to get around to it. And we never do. We never do. There's probably many a person that have gone on to glory that left with a troubled heart, because they weren't able to get out to people what they need to get out to them. Meaning my eyes are watering this morning. I should have quit long before I did, and they don't. I should have left the relationship, the marriage, the job, my children. Because sometimes children know the buttons to push. One of these days I'm going to finish my book, and I had done most of the work in 2014, but life sets in, and there's been deaths and different things that I've encountered, and taking over possessions that were my family's, and just doing those kinds of things. That just as life changes a little bit, it changes. But I need to get back to it because I think it would be a hit among adults who have adult children who consider themselves to always be tabled, meaning I can always come to the table physically, and the fact that I know I might be a problem to my parents, but I ain't gonna worry about it. That's their trouble. Or I might be good to my parents, but my parents still know that I need this, that, and the other thing. It is relative. It's relative to how we live. So when we table stuff, we do postpone it. We don't really quit it. It may just be in the close background. It's in our psyche. It's in our things I'm going to get to. I mean, one of the things I did yesterday is I decided I was going to plan to have my a garage sale. And I said, I've been doing it for years, and I've never done it. And so I'm really working on it now. So yesterday I went in a closet upstairs and I cleaned it up. I mean, I set stuff aside to give away. I set stuff to throw out, and it's in the garbage can. And then I left that closet very organized, from the shoes that have the different locations for the air to get on them, so they don't, basically go to rotting while they're in their boxes. So I don't have any boxes. I have places for them to be stored so they look good, but you can actually see through the box, and they have the holes there so that they get air around them. Those are the kinds of things that make us organized. But I got to tell you, during the process, I want to go sit down and quit doing it. But I guess I knew that this session was going to come up today, just to realize that we can't always table everything. We can't quit everything. We can't forever be in a position of, I can't get to it. It's, if you don't get to it, eventually it will get to us. It will get to us. So when we table stuff, it says that we submit it to just come back to later on, put it in the forward and not in the now. It says that we postpone it. We move it further up the road, but yet still, did I say off the road? No, still there. It says it may become a lodge in our psyche, in our life, and what we need to do next. It says we may file it for later. It says we reintroduce it. It becomes a part of the air we breathe, because we eventually going to have to take that breath in and take it back on again. And it may be the same result, meaning that it's tabled again, but it's still, there. It said it may become a moot issue for now, but not for later. And basically, it's laid out there for our future to deal with. So when we really look at quitting, we have to say, am I really quitting something or am I tabling it? And let's see what Joan is saying. Let's see. It says, I put the hanging damp rid in my closets. It takes care of the moisture. Change it when bag fills with water. Yeah, me too. I have one of those. I have one of those too. But the thing is that there's progress that we're making. There's progress that we're making, Jonah, trying to get through stuff. And for me, it's just reorganizing and throwing out, but also giving other people a chance to use some of the things that I no longer use. But anyway, to quit is very difficult. Very, very difficult. So think about quitting something that you need to quit. I want to quit sugar. And my plan is that, in fact, I was supposed to start today, but I haven't had anything yet. So maybe I'll be all right. Maybe. I'm going to limit it anyway. I said I'm going to limit it until I can get to the point where I can go without any added sugar whatsoever. But listen, I want you all to have a wonderful, wonderful day. I will be back on Friday. I'm hoping that your Wednesday will be full of an idea of what there is for you to quit and how you can form a plan of action and actually look at. It says you're giving yourself the questions that you need to do, such as your query, really realizing what your inability or your unableness is to get it done, and if you're effective or ineffective, and tabling it or carrying it forward. I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. If you don't do anything else, just go ahead and hit that like, okay, and share it out. Just share it out. Give it to somebody else that they can maybe see that there's someone out here, no money required, that is trying to do what I do. Okay? I love you guys. Bless you too. I'll make sure Debbie knows that you were here. All right? Love you guys. Bye-bye. See you on Friday.